US President Joe Biden is accusing Russia of what he calls major war crimes after the brutality seen in Bucha, Ukraine, and announced new sanctions designed to further squeeze Russia's economy. He said the sanctions will fully block two of Russia's top banks, make it off limits for Americans to invest in Russia. Sanctions also include two daughters of Vladimir Putin, who may be hiding some of his assets. For more now, CNN's Nino Dos Santos joins us now live from London. I guess when they talk about squeezing the economy, the question is the squeeze worth the juice?
Well, that's a very good question, John. And, you know, the United States unveiled these sanctions amid big fanfare, saying that this was the biggest step up thus far in various rounds of sanctions. The EU has introduced at least 5 rounds of sanctions. That's been followed by many different countries around the world. But I've been speaking to experts here in London, which, of course, for the last 20 years has been a big hub for Russian money, and they're sceptical as to whether or not this will actually apply the pressure on Vladimir Putin's own purse strings.
Another week, another sanctioned asset seized. On Monday, Spain took possession of this super yacht, the Tango, owned by tycoon Viktor Vekselberg. The seizure follows others in France, Italy and the UK. But now, in the invasion's second month, experts acknowledge that pressure on Moscow's once omnipotent oligarchs is having a limited effect.
I, for one, would certainly like to see a much more vocal community of oligarchs using what little leverage they have with Putin to at least make him understand the misery he's inflicting on Ukraine.
Do you think you'll see that?
I think it's pretty unlikely. We've seen what happens if people cross Vladimir Putin, and these individuals who are being sanctioned won't want to go the same way.
Last month, Russia's president, a man accused of poisoning his adversaries, which he denies, said traitors will be spat out like flies. The US, the UK and the EU have together sanctioned over 1,000 Russian elites and defence firms, making it illegal for Westerners to provide them with cash or services. Yet only a handful have so far spoken out against the invasion. Bank boss Mikhail Friedman and the aluminium magnate Oleg Deripaska, both under sanction, have broken ranks with the Kremlin and called for the bloodshed to end. Friedman, born in Ukraine, says he has limited sway these days.
Just create enormous pressure for us personally, but we do not have any impact for political decision.
Their line has been that they have no influence, that they're innocent in all of this. I don't think many people believe that.
Former government officials like Anatoly Chubais and Arkady Dvorkovich have let it be known that they are against the events in Ukraine. Neither agreed to speak to CNN on camera. Roman Abramovich's attempts to mediate in peace talks haven't stopped his prized Chelsea Football Club and a fleet of boats from being hit either, as he now tries to sell the team. He's denied links to Putin, saying none of his activities merited sanctions.
Public opinion is certainly souring against Kremlin-connected cash, especially here in prime parts of central London. This mansion behind me was broken into by squatters who made their way up onto the balcony and unfurled a sign in protest at the war in Ukraine. The reason they said they targeted this particular edifice was because they believed it to be owned by a Russian oligarch.
That oligarch, Oleg Deripaska, recently said, quote, all sides would lose out, with tragic consequences for the entire world.
I think when it comes to sanctions on oligarchs, they are frankly symbolic, they're totemic. They of course keep the issue in the public eye.
So in essence, this is a PR exercise?
It's definitely a PR exercise.
Authorities appear to be aware of this. On Wednesday, the US said it will now target the assets of Putin's 2 adult daughters.
And John, the decision to introduce sanctions against Putin's 2 eldest daughters, Katerina Tikhanova and Maria Vorontsova, is obviously a step up in making this just a little bit more personal for the Russian president. But you have to remember, he also allegedly has many other children and has a partner supposedly in Switzerland. There's been big pressure on the Swiss government as well to do something about allowing that family to stay in Switzerland whilst this war in Ukraine continues. John?
And, Nina, when we look at the bigger picture with sanctions, for example, the ruble has come back to pre-invasion value against the US dollar, so it's bounced back. And it really does raise the questions of how effective these sanctions are in changing behavior, if you like, by Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin.
Yeah, and that is why repeatedly you're hearing the president of President Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, continue with this message that he believes that Western powers really need to press the economically nuclear button, if you like, which is to stop buying energy from Russia. Of course, Russia is the big commodities market. This means that when it sells gas and oil, it does so in dollars. So on the one hand, you can't just lock Russia out of the dollar banking system and its big oligarchs out of the banking system as well in dollars, whilst you're still buying energy, the main asset that this country sells, in dollars as well. So far, obviously, that still remains a premature argument, at least here in Europe, where, of course, Germany is the biggest economic player in the EU and is so heavily reliant upon Russia for its oil and gas. But you are starting to see that increasing ratcheting up of the sanctions pressure, first of all, to try and squeeze out the oligarch class, go after members of Vladimir Putin's own family and also government members as well, and then potentially energy continues to be the biggie. John?
And Russia will earn more money from energy this year, or gas and oil, than last year, according to Bloomberg. Nina, thank you. Nina Dos Santos in London for us. We appreciate that.